All right, Mr. Delay, you were talking about the budget and the minimum wage. You said something about minimum wage and the national living wage.
Yeah.
Please explain the two.
Right. Minimum wage, you see, when we're talking about minimum wage, it has to be categorized. Minimum wage is people working in the economy, the workforce, between the age of 17 and 24. Okay, they have a different lifestyle of living and what they can actually spend what they earn on, okay, categorically. National living wage is from the age of 24 and above, okay? That's another category of living of the workforce in the economy. Now, if you're planning national minimum wage, you're only talking about one sector of the workforce, okay? You need to, it's another climb, you need to segment when you're planning on this minimum wage issue. Now, if you don't do so, you can't expect a 16, 17, 20-year-olds to earn 18,000, for example, okay? And expect an adult, 25 upward, to live on the same wage. It's not tenable.
But that's the situation that has been. But the question I'm asking is,
yeah,
there is a conversation that has been going on between Labour and government about increasing, whether call it minimum wage, call it national wage, but it's not captured in the 2018 budget.
And it's not because...
So how would that play out at the end of the day?
Personally, I think I'm going to put the blame on the NLC. They're supposed to be the force behind all this. Because if it's not been captured in the national budget, the budget, then of course there is a problem. If you're not the pressure group that's supposed to be in part of this planning before the budget is being put into place, then obviously you have a problem. So my take on this is quite very simple. If it's not being captured in the budget, then there is a problem. So why agitating for 86,000 when the issue of 18,000 is not even been resolved yet, when some government, some state government can't even afford to pay that money, then you're now agitating and pressing the government for 86,500. It's not going to happen. Now, the budget doesn't speak for the national minimum wage as we speak at the moment. Now, you're now moving up about how many steps further to 86,500? There's going to be a crisis in the economy. And having said that, assuming, peradventure, that we all agree, all the parties agree and go into the 86,000 naira, do we think about the implication that's going to bring to the economy in the first place? We never thought about that. There's going to be hyperinflation.
Hyperinflation.
Hyperinflation. It's going to affect the price and the price of the goods and services in the economy drastically, negatively. Now, it is also going to affect investors coming into the country. Because investors, before they come into the country, they're going to have to look at the standard of wage being paid to the workforce. Can they afford it? Now, the goods you produce in here, compared to the ones you produce in the other country, the neighboring country, if it's cheaper there, how are you going to balance that out?
But see this, so in the budget as it is, the National Assembly earmarked about 3.5 trillion naira for recurrent expenditure.
Yeah.
And then instead of 3.4 as proposed by the federal government, so they have increased it to 3.5.
Yeah.
Then in the capital expenditure was actually also increased to 2.8 instead of the 2.4. But you're saying that if the minimum wage is eventually brought in, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem.
But we continue to see an increase in recurrent expenditure year in, year out. And that is not a problem. But the man who is earning a minimum wage is unable to. His purchasing power is down there. So what should be the solution?
We need to address the issue of who's actually eating up the capital expenditure which goes into paying salaries. Is it the common masses? Is it the labor force, the actual labor force in the economy? Of course not. When the majority of that money is being paid as salaries to the National Assembly, for example, look at how much they earn per month. And you're talking about how much the common man earns on the streets of 18,000 that can't even be paid. If you know the entitlement and every other things that makes up what they earn as a senator, as a honorable in the state and also in the national level, you will be gobsmacked. That should be addressed first. We have enough money to go around to be able to pay these people, but a section of the economy of the people are earning so substantially that the money is going through to them. And you can afford to pay the actual workforce in the economy. Now, don't forget, the people that earn the chunk of this money are being voted for, put in place by this mass workforce that's supposed to be earning this money. So if you really want to balance it out, let's begin to talk about, if you're talking about national minimum wage, are they not also civil servants? They're also civil servants. So if I'm earning 18,000, you should also be earning 18,000. Okay? It's called national minimum wage. It doesn't exempt anyone. Okay? So if I'm earning 18,000, you also, as a senator, as a lawmaker, or honorable, should be earning the same amount of money. So if
they should be earning the minimum wage.
Minimum wage is minimum wage. We have a commission that actually regulates the earning capacity of all these people.
Of the different sectors of the Nigerian state.
Of course, but is that being followed? It's not being followed.
No, you're saying that they're not following the directives of the Wages Commission.
They're not. That's why they're not coming out boldly to declare their earning. I mean, the question has come up several times in different quarters. Come and tell us how much you're earning.
You're making strong allegations here.
No. I am saying this unapologetically, and I stand to be corrected.
So what's the difference between what they have and what the Wages Commission has to say?
Well, if they can come out from the studio and bring their paycheck and the pay slip and say, this is what I'm earning, this is what the commission says, I stand to be corrected.
Okay. Mr. Fashua, do you agree with him?
Yes,
you agree that the bulk of that recurrent expenditure is going on to paying the...
Okay, I'll tell you something. In my line of work as an accountant, you rely on books, you rely on facts.
Hold on. Just hold on to your thoughts about the books. We'll be back in a moment so that you continue from there. Don't go away.